then I flew back home to start the first cryptocurrency company in Thailand 11 years ago, in 2013. I realized back then, after graduation, that my parents hadn't saved enough money to send 4 kids, obviously very expensive for a Thai family. So I didn't want to ask for the funding from my parents. Luckily, they have a small shop in Bitkub Central area. So I asked for a spare room in that clothing shop to set up my first company. My parents was thoughtful. Topp, what are you going to do if you want to get a job? And they sent me all the way to Oxford. I want to start a startup. What is a startup? Okay, I just explain what a startup is. Okay, what do you want to do? Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? 11 years ago. I was, staring at my computers 12, 14 hours every day, 7 days a week, with one person, starting a company from scratch. I had to learn everything myself. From company incorporation, tax system, operation, customer support, marketing, everything myself. And then 10 months into the first business, the Bank of Thailand issued a formal statement saying that to all the commercial banks in Thailand, saying that Bitcoin could be a Ponzi scheme. The value could go to zero anytime. Don't go anywhere near it. It was an official letter from the Bank of Thailand. My dad discovered that letter. Who do you think is going to believe? A recently graduated son or the Bank of Thailand? Right? Topp, I sent you all the way to Oxford. Why are you running a Ponzi scheme? That was his question. You could have applied for any jobs in this country. Why are you running a Ponzi scheme? I had a big fight with my dad, my parents. Bitcoin is going to change the world. My parents said, why Bitcoin? Let's go read that. It's going to change the whole finance. I didn't want to do that. And one of the most happiest days in my life was when I moved out of that village into a small co-working space. Before I moved out, I saved up roughly $30,000 in 10 months. That is like the maximum money I made in 10 months. So I started to hire employees from expansion. And then that's when I found out that nobody wanted to work for me. Because I was with this title, literally chief everything officer. I was the only one doing everything in the company. And when they came for a job interview, why is there clothes everywhere? So you should get clothing shop. What is the Bitcoin stuff? How many staff do you have? Want to see everything officer? So nobody wanted to work. My first 2 employees were my cousins, and to pay my cousins to start a business. So the 3 of us moved into a co-working space that can facilitate maximum 5 people. And we graduated until we moved up to the biggest room that we were at roughly 9 members, 99 staff. And then the anti-money laundering officers sent me an investigation letter with my name on top of the letter, Topp Jirayut, investigation for money laundering. My dad discovered that letter. And he said, Topp, I sent you all the way to Oxford. Why are you laundering money? Why are you running a Ponzi scheme? Why are you laundering? What's the need for that? Come and help me sell clothes if you want to. 1 foot is already in jail. Why risk it? I was like, it's going to change the world. Mark Anderson told me that paper, big fight. I was hiding this letter from my employees also. So stressful. 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. managing a team of 9 people. 7 p.m. I was staying behind until 3 a.m. reading up all the KYC, CBD, AML stuff that we're not telling in the university. I called my friend from Oxford University, graduated from law school. Hey bro, I got into this big issue. Money laundering officers, same investigation. Topp, what are you doing? Bitcoin. What? You seriously doing Bitcoin stuff? Good luck. That was the response from a friend that was working in legal. Nobody wanted to take the case. Imagine Bitcoin 11 years ago. It's not today. 11 years ago. Right, so I had to. My dad was the one who, after 3 months of preparation, drove me to the anti-money laundering officers and defend the case to set up the first cryptocurrency transaction report in this country. When I came back, half of the employees left the company. We had to rehire. Then we moved out and do our own space back. We gradually grew to roughly 30 people. And then Bank of Thailand issued an investigation letter. Now this time is the Bank of Thailand, because the transactions started to grow. Cryptocurrency transactions started to grow in this country. We we started to get bigger and bigger each year. And they were like, Topp, where's your license? You operate a money business without a license. Where do you want a license? $200 million capital registration. Where is it? Topp, where is your remittance license? Where's your payment license? My capital registration was what we did, bootstrapping. There's no way that I was able to get a proper big financial institution license. Call my friend, oh, Bitcoin, good one, safe response. So after 7 p.m., I had to stay to the office till 3 a.m. every night. And then 9 a.m. back to the office, managing the team. It was tough, no life in the first 4 or 5 years. My dad discovered the letter from the Bank of Thailand. What do you think he's going to say? Shut the company down now, Topp. Why are you getting into trouble with all the regulators in Thailand? Bank of Thailand, anti-money laundering officers. But he was the one again driving me to the Bank of Thailand to defend the case. I had to spend myself, the money regulation, because nobody wanted to take a case. Even up to today, the definition of money in Thailand was updated 80 years ago. I still even remember up to the 2475 Thai calendar. 70, 80 years ago, even before the internet era. So I was saying to the Bank of Thailand, guys, this is your own definition of money. Bitcoin does not fall into the definition of money, so I'm not under your supervision. Thank you. I really need the license. They still hate me up to today. After I came back to the Bank of Thailand, half the employees so painful. But not long after that, the RD, revenue department, I was not hiding that. They came to the office. They didn't visit every company, by the way. They only visit brand companies, and we were one of them. We were the spotlighted company. All the employees were shocked, the RD, revenue department. Are you avoiding taxes with the transaction? How do you report this technology, this transaction? We were the pioneer in this country. How do you pay taxes with this thing? I was making 1% spread, and since Bitcoin was not under the definition of money, I had to pay 7% VAT because it's classified as an asset. How am I going to survive if I make 1% spread and I have to pay 7% taxes? I had to go and defend the case. I had to pay special business tax. I can only pay 3% on top of the 1% spread, only on the net spread. It was so tough. But luckily, on the 1st of April 2017, Japan announced that Bitcoin was a legal tender, and everyone started to message me and say, Topp, I can't believe you were the minority that was right. Where's the majority wrong about this technology? And the first company was Topp at roughly $100 million. It was the biggest exit in this region back then. And then I started Bitcoin. I wanted to rest for a year, but that's when 2017, 18, that's when the Bitcoin price hit $20,000 for the first time. All the media was on me. I was the only operator in this country. All the regulators. I was on 300 stages that year ago. And I wanted to show to the regulators that we can do much more beyond just Bitcoin with this blockchain technology. So I participated in the first Thai Bitcoin challenge. I started a project called Stock Exchange 2.0, where you can do settlement T plus 0 settlement time. Back then, 6-7 years ago, it was T plus 3 settlement times for stock trading in Thailand. The judges were from the SEC, the Stock Exchange of Thailand, the finance minister. We became the final winner. We became the winner of that 15 challenge. The stock exchange guy gave me 0 every month. Who is this kid? I've been running this for 50 years. Who is this 27 years old kid who can create a better East and Southern stock exchange than me? I want to destroy his business right away. That was the feedback that we got. We came out as a winner anyway. And luckily, luck was on my side. Bitcoin went $20,000 for the first time. The Ministry of Finance ordered the Thai SEC. Oh, before that, I came to the SEC and said, I'm turn this into a proper business now. And they kind of lost space. Well, based on our own regulation, nobody can compete with the Thai Stock Exchange. It's a special company in Thailand. It's a monopoly. So I was like, what's the point of competing? And luckily, when Bitcoin price went $20,000, Minister of Finance ordered the Thai SEC to issue a license in this space. You were already in the sandbox, and they turned that sandbox into the first license in this country. And Bitkub was the first to receive the license. And the company has been growing at 1,000% every year in the first 3 years, 2014. And now we are the most successful startup in the Thai stock industry. We ended up having more traffic than the Thai stock exchange, actually making more money than them after 7 years. This is my story so far. I know I've gone over time, just maybe 2 quick lessons for all of my students. The first lesson is you have to find this important truth. You have to be the minority that was very right about something that the majority wrong. Then you're going to create tremendous opportunity for yourself. Be very different, don't be the same. Otherwise, you could be sharing the rewards, supply and demand. So you have to somehow use Steve Jobs' word, connecting the dots backward to arrive at your own conclusion, important truth, and stick to that important truth long enough, and make sure that you're on the right side of history, be the minority that is right about something that the majority are wrong. That's why I'm here today with zero capital. I still didn't use any of my parents' money up to today. Second lesson is perseverance. I haven't met any single entrepreneurs in any industries that do not persist or have this characteristics, perseverance, the ability to handle pain. Make sure that we have to have a high pain threshold if you want to be an entrepreneur. It's not easy. The video only highlight the good stuff, not the bad stuff. Make sure that you're okay with handling pain. It's part of the game. And one last thing is, if you want to be an entrepreneur, do one thing that scares you a little, because that's how you push your comfort zone. Eventually, your comfort zone is going to get bigger and bigger. And by the way, if you're pushing your comfort zone, you're going to fail the first time, because it's going to be the first time that you try new stuff, and nobody succeeds in the first go, right from the first time. So be okay with failing. Get used to failing. And once you constantly do, pushing your comfort zone, you're going to become a much better, more capable person. And as an entrepreneur, you really have to be seen to teach everything of yourself. You have to do the things that you don't really want to do, but for the survival of the company. I hope you enjoyed my experience so far, the lessons.